Namaskar, welcome back to the Saffron Box. Today in this video I'll be talking about Sade Sati, the upcoming Sade Sati for the Aries Moon sign. So if you are somebody with moon in the sign of Aries in your natal chart, then on the 29th of March 2025 when Saturn enters the sign of Pisces is when your Sade Sati is going to begin, right? So let's just quickly understand what is Sade Sati very quickly. So here is your natal moon, that is the Aries. In the sign of Aries you'll have your natal moon. One house behind is where you will see the sign of Pisces, and one house next to it is where you will see the sign of Taurus, right? So Sade Sati is a transit phenomena of Saturn, right? So where we see Sade Sati with the transit of Saturn. Sade Sati means 7.5 years. So we know that Saturn transits each sign over 2.5 years. So when Saturn will move into the sign of Pisces, it will stay there for 2.5 years. That will be the first phase of your Sade Sati, or the rising phase of your Sade Sati. When Saturn will go over your natal moon, that will be the peak phase of Sade Sati from 2027 to 2029. And when Saturn will move into the next sign, that is Taurus, that will be the setting phase of your Sade Sati. And once it's finished its journey in Taurus and moves to Gemini, that is when we'll say that Sade Sati has ended for the Aries moon sign. So you've understood 7.5 years divided into 3 parts: 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. Moon is in the center, one house is next to it, and one house is behind it. So these two houses, 2.5, 2.5, and the center. So put together 7.5 years is what the Sade Sati period is. So basically it's a play of transit Saturn over your natal moon, right? So transit Saturn, 12th house from the moon, is the beginning of the Sade Sati. Transit Saturn over the natal moon, the peak phase, and the second house from moon where Saturn transits is the setting phase. So I hope I'm very clear here. I've tried to explain as easily as I could. Now Sade Sati is something which comes to all of us because Saturn makes an entire circle of the zodiac in 30 years. So 2.5 years for each sign, it comes up to roughly 30 years. So if you're above 30 years, you've already seen one Sade Sati, or you are undergoing your Sade Sati. And anyone who's above 60 has seen 2 Sade Satis. So Sade Sati will, it's not that it comes only on a few people, as some people get confused about. Sade Sati is going to come to everyone. It's going to happen for everybody if you're above 60. If you're going to live more than 60, you're going to see 2 rounds of Sade Satis. And if God willing you touch 80 or 90, you're going to see 3 Sade Satis also, right? So that was roughly an idea of how Sade Sati behaves. Sade Sati goes, right? Now there is a lot of fear also. People fear Sade Sati. They're like, okay, now my Sade Sati has begun. There's a lot of, there are a lot of jokes around Sade Sati. If people are going through tough times, they start cursing Sade Sati and all that, which is wrong in a way, because you need to understand the planet's energy first, mend your ways, behave accordingly, and then things do take care of themselves, right? So first of all, drop the fear like a hot potato. Do not be scared about it. Do not spread fear among others also. Not at all recommended, because once you spread fear of anything among others, you damage your Saturn yourself, you damage your Mercury, you damage your Jupiter also. So that is something which is totally avoidable. Never try to put fear or try to scare other people. That is something which is very wrong, right? Especially when you don't know something wholly solely 100%. Now for the Aries moon sign, on 29th of March Saturn moves into the sign of Pisces. So the first phase of your Sade Sati starts. So I'm going to be talking about what is possible in the first phase of your Sade Sati. What is it that you keep in mind in this first phase so that going forward things fall in place for you, right? That is something which is very important. When you start, when you have understood as to how this transit is going to be, what are the different possibilities, then you're well prepared for what is to come in the future as well. So usually there's also a lot of confusion, or people I've seen ask me also that I have a Aries moon, and Saturn debilitates in the sign of Aries, so how my Sade Sati is going to be. Mars and Saturn are not friends, so will my Sade Sati be very bad? And all those questions do come to me. I see them regularly. But one thing I would say that is, a lot depends on your natal chart. How is Saturn placed in your natal chart plays a major role over here, right? That is how the results differ, from one person to the other, from one set to the other. The results differ because your natal charts are different. Each person has a unique chart, right? And Sade Sati is not a period of only struggles and only disappointments and unhappiness. Sade Sati, if it is going well for you, can really take you to very good places, make you rise high in life. And we have seen many charts where during the period of Sade Sati, people have really risen, got major jumps in life, right? So it all depends on your own karma, on your natal chart, of course, and then the kind of free will, the way you're using your free will in this lifetime as well, right? So it all is a sum total of your destiny and your free will also. And Saturn is a karma faldata. Saturn is a planet which rewards you or punishes you depending on the kind of karma you have done. So if you have been honest, if you have been fair and just towards things, then the rewards also do come, because Sade Sati is a trying time. There is no doubt about it. Sometimes this trial can be emotional, sometimes it can be physical, sometimes it can be in your, it can be related to your profession. So a lot of things can be seen from time to time during this 7.5 years. And I've seen a lot of people, are usually very anxious, very restless during this period, because there's something or the other to worry about. There are problems related to emotions. Sometimes they are not able to handle their emotions well. There are issues related to their mother, concerns related to mother's health, or your relationship with your mother may get strained during this time, because all said and done, this is a interplay of Moon and Saturn, right? So Moon is your mother, is your emotions, is your peace of mind. So all these things are impacted by Saturn, because Moon is a very soft planet, and Saturn, as I said, Saturn is the tough old man, right? So these qualities don't gel together, and it's obviously going to be more difficult for the Moon to handle whatever is happening. So now with the first phase of Sade Sati for the Aries moon, Saturn will be in the 12th from your moon, and from there it is going to be impacting your second house. So I am referring to your moon chart here, I am not referring to your ascendant. We will see the moon chart. It will be impacting the second house with the third aspect. It will be impacting your 6th house with the 7th aspect, and your 9th house with the 10th aspect. So these three houses are going to be under stress or under the watchful eyes of Saturn. And what do we see? I'll come to that. With the second house, when Saturn aspects the second house, you could see some strains within your family, difficulties within the family finances, difficulty in keeping the family together. Most of the time I have seen when Sade Sati is happening, this is a time when some kind of temporary physical geographical separation happens. So somebody in your family will take a job somewhere else, they'll have to move out, they'll have to have a separate setup, of their own. So some geographical separation may occur, or mentally you are not able to get through with some family members. That can also happen. So it impacts your family life to some extent. It impacts your finances. Your finances may go, your expenses may go up, or you may find difficulty in accumulating money, in accumulating wealth. And one more very important thing is that you may find it very difficult to keep your communication under check. This is the time when people say a lot of things very bluntly and problems happen in the family. You raise issues for yourself with your own hands, with your own speech, right? So these are the three things, these are the three major important things which you need to keep in mind, right? If you have the Aries moon, I'm talking about your moon sign, I'm talking about your moon chart, right? So these three things have to be, have to be in check. And how can you manage these three things is with your speech. How you're communicating, you need to be careful. Your family, your finances can be in order if your communication is all right. This may also be a period where you may see physical issues related to eyes, or related to dental troubles, right? So teeth, eyes, some problems on the face, where you have to seek medical help. These things are very common. These issues can also be seen in the first phase when Saturn is in your 12th house from the moon, and it's impacting the second house with the third aspect. Then we come to the 6th house. So from the 12th, Saturn is going to be aspecting the 6th house with the 7th aspect. Now here, 6th house is the house of all your opposition, your shadripus, enemies, diseases, deaths, loans, health, daily routine. This is where you need to be careful with regard to your health, because there could be trips to the doctors, medical expenses may rise because your health is taking a beating, right? Then this is a period where I would advise that you do not take up any more loan. If you have a loan going on, it's fine, you're paying it, it's okay, but do not try to take up fresh loans or get into fresh debt. That is something which is very important, because during this time usually people very impulsively take more loans than more than their capacity, and they find it very difficult to pay it off later. So try to decrease your loan, try to decrease your debt rather than increasing the debt. That is something which is to be noted actually. Then this may also be a period where you will see that a lot of people are opposing you. Sometimes you will find people at work, they are not supporting you. And in some cases, I've seen with a lot of ladies, this is a period when the house help is not available. If you've had some good house help for all these years, he or she may run away, may go away, or you find it very difficult to hold on to house help. People who work under you, the service, the people who serve you. That is a problem which is very common during this time. So be careful there. Treat the people under you very respectfully, properly, and manage them well. That is something very important. Stay away from arguments with your colleagues at work, with your juniors at work, because that again may cause trouble. So enemies, debts, that is loans, any diseases, try to maintain a good healthy routine, daily routine. Put some exercise in your daily routine. The more you exercise, the more you sweat out. Saturn anyways tries to, that is a very good remedy for Sade Sati as well. So these things have to be kept in mind. Then Saturn aspects the 9th house with the 10th aspect, with the 10th drishti. So with the 9th house, and Saturn's aspect over there, you may sometimes find difficulty connecting with your father. There may be problems relating to your father, or your relationship could be a little strained. Sometimes there is difficulty in finding a good teacher, finding a good guru who can guide you properly. I've also seen that people get into a lot of, people get a lot of fake guidance, or they get used during this time. They are not able to find a good teacher, find a good guru. They end up losing money, or they end up losing a lot of energy and time in doing so, right? So that is again a major possibility during this time. uh, there could be a lot of travel, staying away from home, so all those possibilities are also there. You may find it very difficult to abide by your dharma. So, but during this time, remember, Saturn is testing you. So abiding by your dharma, abiding by dharma, I don't mean religious duties alone. I mean all the duties which you have as a householder also. Whatever your duty is as a father, as a son, as a brother, as a friend, whatever your duties are, it's important to take care of your duties. That is your dharma. So there may be occasions where you're not present to dispense of those duties or take care of those responsibilities. You find it very difficult because there are a lot of strains otherwise. Your finances are under strain, your daily routine is under strain, and because of which all these duties are also getting messed up. You're not able to take care of these duties. People also question their dharma, or they question the higher philosophy, higher wisdom also during this time. So that is also again a possibility. So the easy way out is to, the best way out of this situation of handling this aspect on the ninth house is to do your duties. Do not think too much. Whatever duties you have, just do them the way they are supposed to be done. Don't get too involved into higher wisdom, higher knowledge, and too much of complication into things. Just do your duties, and everything will get taken care of, right? So this was the impact of Sade Sati, impact of the rising phase of Sade Sati for the Aries moon. Now, what is it that one can do practically to go through this Sade Sati smoothly? So number one, it's important that you speak less and speak with a lot of care and caution, right? Because your speech, your communication can land you into trouble. So speak less, keep a little low profile, right? Then maintain your daily routine, sweat it out. Go for long walks, spend time in nature, increase your oxygen intake, right? Because as I mentioned in the beginning, Saturn and Moon is a soft planet, Moon is your mind, Moon is the water in your body, and here Saturn is a dry planet. It's a Vata planet. Moon is Kapha, Vata. Your the water element in your body has to be taken care of. Hydrate well. Have more live foods with more oxygen content. Breathe well. Do pranayam. Do lot of breathing exercises. Make sure that your body is breathing well, right? So take care of the air element, take care of the water element in your body, because during this time because of dehydration also, I've seen a lot of problems. In fact, I've had experiences myself. So dehydration is something which you have to be avoiding, and stick to your duties. Whatever you're doing, just stick with it, just stick to it. And if you can do some part, if you can recite some mantras, then this is a period when you must worship Lord Hanuman. You must donate time to time. You can help the needy people, you can help people in the hospitals, you can help people who cannot walk, older people, older women specifically, right? And be very mindful of what you're doing. That is very, very important. So it is also important because Saturn is in the 12th house from the moon also. It is very important that you spend time in isolation, right? So to think about what you're doing, what kind of actions are you going to do. So it's very important during Sade Sati that you start maintaining a diary. Start maintaining a diary, plan your work, take out time to do everything every day. It's a very good practice, and I have seen that people who maintain a good daily routine during the Sade Sati, they don't suffer much because they have time for everything. They have time for work, they have time for self care, they know how to nourish their body properly, they know how much to interact socially, how much to go out, how much to party, and where to stop, right? So when you do everything in balance, your Sade Sati can actually go smoothly. So that was my input for the Aries moon. Let me know in the comment section how it has been for you till now. If you have undergone a Sade Sati once, what did you do during your Sade Sati? And if you are Aries moon, you can keep referring back to this video and tell me how Sade Sati is going for you also. So I hope you like the video, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. Till then, take care, take good care of yourself.